Fly away now.
What's Liza doing here? It doesn't seem as though she's noticed me. Elisa? Is that you?
Gah!
What? Did you follow me?
No. I was exploring the island and I just happened to see you.
Ah, well that's good. At least I haven't gotten that poor at covering my tracks.
Well, as long as we're both here, where were you heading, if you don't mind me asking?
That depends. Can you keep a secret?
I suppose I can.
Excellent. Watch this. Come.
This seems dangerous, but it might be even more dangerous to decline. Let's see. Ha! A secret handle underneath the moss. Very clever. What's all this? And what's that smell? It's making me a bit lightheaded. What is this?
It's called hookah. Finally, somewhere to spend the evening that isn't that dreadful vodka bar or Arbon's place. No offense to her, but I tire of the same old company.
You run this place?
Naturally. Would you care to try some?
I'd better not. It seems a little too close to smoking for my comfort.
Suit yourself. At least make yourself comfortable. Listen, the Countess doesn't know about this place, and I'd prefer to keep it that way. Do you understand?
Yes, of course. Your secret's safe with me.
Ah, thank you. I was worried I might have to kill you. Joking.
Yes, of course.
Mother has been particularly restrictive of my actions recently. I just wanted something to call my own. And the extra income doesn't hurt either.
Wait. Mother?
Yes? Oh, you didn't know. I mean the Countess. She sired me and took me in as her daughter.
Does that make Dr. Volkov my father?
I doubt it. My relationship with the Countess is somewhat unusual, as I understand it.
So the Countess doesn't know that you're doing this?
Precisely. You see why this needs to stay underground, so to speak. But enough of me. How are you, Lizaveta? Enjoying your new eternity?
It feels restrictive, not being able to go out during the day.
Yes, yes, you understand. So much time afforded to us, and yet half of it is useless.
Well, you know what they say. Half of eternity is still eternity. At least, that's how I'm trying to see it.
As entertaining a diversion as this was, I suppose I should attend to my duties. You should come again, though. It's difficult to find a decent conversation partner these days. The vampires are so stagnant, and the humans too fragile.
You mean...
Petya, yeah.
I'm sorry the ritual didn't work. Really.
Nothing to be done now. That's necromancy for you. Fickle and temperamental, but that's what I like about it. I hope it's a little less unpredictable for my next attempt, at least.
You're going to try to bring someone else back?
No, I've had enough of that. You could say I'm aiming for something a little more abstract.
Which is...
Do you remember when I asked you about the sunrise?
Yes, I do. Don't tell me you... But isn't that fatal?
Usually, yes. But that's where necromancy comes in. There should be some form of protection spell that will permit me to shield my body from the sun's rays. It's only in the theory stages for now, but I am making progress. Well, what do you think?
The possibilities are incredible. If you could do that for a surgery.
Your mind goes to the strangest places. I don't dislike it, though. If all goes smoothly, perhaps a collaboration would be in order. Enough, enough. I'll be here all night at this rate. Stay if you like, or don't. Good night.
The sunrise, huh? Liza certainly is ambitious. I'm a little curious whether she'll be able to pull it off, though. I suppose I'll just have to wait and see. Hello again.
The little bat returns. Hunting well?
You keep calling me that.
Am I wrong?
Well, no, but... How do you know what I am?
Your kind has a certain smell. Stagnant blood.
If my kind are bats, then what does that make you?
Names, names. Rusalka will define. Of what shall we speak then?
Did you attack Demian? On Kupala night, he went swimming in the lake. Those odd marks on his leg must have been from your nails.
A rabbit fool enough to run in an open field should expect the talons of a hawk.
In that case, you must have gone hungry that night.
Do not mistake me for your kind. I need not kill to survive.
So then, why?
Are you certain you wish to know?
You don't have to answer if you don't want to.
What I want. Yes, perhaps. Listen well then, little bat. There was once a girl who loved a kind-faced young man from a wealthy family. Though they were yet to be wed, she would meet him as he bathed. So deeply entranced was she. Faithfully, she came to him each night, and he would take her across the lake where none would find them. Waiting for the day he would offer her his hand. And she waited, and she waited, so faithfully, so meekly, till one day as they were on the water, she dared ask how much longer she would wait. And his kind face turned cold, and his sweet voice turned sharp. She begged him to forgive her, but he would not listen. The hand she had so longed to take now reached out and pushed her back. As she sank, her love dissolved along with her name until they both became one with the water.
So, when you attack young men,
The boy of whom I speak has yet to be full enough to return to the water, but many have taken his place. Now listen closely, little bat. Though I am fettered, you yet fly free. Thus I charge you, bring me what I could not take, his life and his hand. Claim the former and bring me the latter, and you will be handsomely rewarded.
you want me to kill him?
A life for a life, the only fair measure.
Do you remember anything I can use to find him? His height, hair color?
As my last act, I mark his hand as mine, as I'd so longed to do. You shall know him from that. Here, may it strike true. I'll be waiting, little bat.
Marked his hand as mine. That's not terribly specific. I'll have to do some investigating. As for potential suspects, Tropheme certainly doesn't come from wealth, and I've seen the doctor's hands often enough to rule them both out. Best not approach any of the men in town until I know a bit more. Maybe Arbin will have some ideas. She's privy enough to the town's happenings. I should try speaking with her first.
Shoo! Ugh, what is this? Goodness!
Wonderful to see you again, Miss Morozova.
You too, Roman, though I'm surprised you remember my name.
Do you think yourself so easily forgotten? Or I so forgetful?
Certainly not. It's just that you must see so many faces pass through here, far more interesting than my own.
I would be so lucky to see a face such as yours once in a lifetime. Besides, you overestimate our little town's hunger for books.
Well, the townsfolk don't know what they're missing.
And what of your appetite?
Pardon?
Have you devoured the book I gave you?
Oh, of course. Yes, I have finished it.
Superb. I am beyond thrilled. What did you make of it?
I enjoyed it. The Dashwood sisters weathered their fair share of storms and were justly rewarded.
Ah, very interesting. I never took you for a romantic, Miss Morozova.
I am aware the level of sheer coincidence nears fantasy, but one can hope for a world in which suffering is not in vain.
I fear not all can bear the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune until fate smiles upon them.
You wield the bard's words well.
A fan of Shakespeare. You're just full of surprises, Miss Morozova. I do so appreciate you taking the time to share your thoughts with me. It's such a welcome change to share conversation with a curious and intelligent mind.
Likewise. And if I ever tire of daily life in this town, at least I won't be short of tales in your bookshop.
The town? It may have more to offer than the surface would suggest.
Well, it has you. I hadn't expected to find such intelligence and warmth here.
Stop, you'll make me blush at this rate. Besides, the town is now graced with your presence. You know, I would be honoured to provide a tour and share some local folklore.
What a kind offer. Thank you, Roman. Though, I fear my days are somewhat packed.
How about your evenings?
I may be able to manage. A tour does sound like an ideal way to better learn about the town.
Splendid! Then consider me your chaperone. I'll be ready when you are. Have a pleasant evening.
Marusa?
Liza, it's good to see you again.
Is that the shooting party? Are you a fan of Chekhov?
Didn't expect you to know anything about literature.
Glad to surprise you.
I've studied some of his plays, but reading plays isn't the same as watching them. It made me a bit sad. So I thought I'd read some of his fiction instead.
Isn't the shooting party a little, crass?
Why? Because it's about murder? I may as well find horrors within the pages, rather than out on the streets. At least this is fiction.
I suppose you have a point. It's quite late. I'm surprised you're here at this hour by yourself.
Don't have much choice if I want to continue my studies. And I have permission to read off the shelves.
So you like to read?
As much as I can and as often as I can. Which isn't very much with all the work in the fields.
I've always loved reading, even as a child. When I wasn't studying, I read whatever I could pick up. I found that books could transport me to a different world, or a different time, and for a brief moment. I wasn't Liza. I was a princess or hero or a dashing pirate.
So you get it. Reading is almost a magical force. However, at the moment, I'm reading less fiction. With the hours I have, there's little time for escapism.
So, other than Chekhov, what are you reading?
I'm trying to read more politics and social commentaries. It feels like the world is already on a huge course of change, and if I don't prepare, I might blink and be left even further behind.
I see.
In order to survive a harsh winter, you must stock up on your provisions. It feels like it's the same with your mind.
That's very astute.
Is it? It just seems like common sense to me.
You may be surprised how many people don't have that quality. For someone so young, you certainly seem to know what you want.
Working the land is honorable. I don't look down on it. And with more progress, maybe one day my community will get to benefit from their labor the way they should. But In the meantime, what about people like me? People who want something different? Why must it be so difficult to dream of something else, to live the stories, not simply read them in books forever? And I'm lucky to even be able to do that much. Ah, is that the time already? It's later than I thought.
Is something wrong?
I just need to get home. We have to be up before dawn tomorrow to tend the fields. I'm planning on picking some mushrooms one of these evenings. Would you care to join me?
Why me?
It's a chore I can complete quicker with an extra pair of hands. And you're a woman who's managed to achieve her dream. I'd like to know more about how you did it.
Of course. I'll see you soon.
Great. Let's talk more then. But I must go now. Till next time.
Such a headstrong girl. Maybe I could buy her a gift for the next time I see her.
Fly away now.
The hussar's lost in thought. I don't think he's noticed me. Good evening, hussar.
Ah, if it isn't Liza. I see my hiding spot has been found.
What are you doing up here? Seems an odd place to smoke.
I'm getting closer to the Lord, can't you see? Most of our kind won't even look at a church. It's good for getting some peace. Or it normally is, anyway.
Too bad.
Too bad indeed. I suppose I'm stuck with you now.
Indeed you are.
I take it you don't smoke?
I'm not fond of the taste.
Good. Good. Terrible habit.
Or you just don't want to share.
You got me. I'm too stingy. How else am I meant to pass these endless nights,
Weren't you the one going on about how being a vampire makes you feel more alive?
The flying part is good, I'll grant you. Eternity, though? It can be stifling.
I see what you mean. It's somehow both freeing and limiting at once. We're powerful, but we can't so much as enjoy the sun's warmth.
See, you get it. You play cards, Liza?
A little.
Indulge me in a game?
I suppose I could. What are we playing for?
Secrets.
How juvenile.
Well, we can play for boring old money if you're scared.
You... Fine. Secrets it is. Yes!
That was a fluke. Go on then. I'm an open book.
How were you turned?
The usual fashion. Brink of death, given vampire blood.
That's not what I meant, and you know it.
You mean to ask how I died?
Well, when you put it like that...
I'm only teasing. As it happens, I was found by Count Orlov after a fight. He offered to save me in return for my service. Simple as that.
Go back a moment. The Count? There's a Count.
Was. He passed quite some time ago now. And before you ask, I have no idea. The Countess has made it clear she won't speak of it, or him. Next round, then? You play a little, was it? Fine. Go on, then.
What was the Count like?
I'd say brilliant, charismatic, judicious. He and the Countess together, a real force of nature. Though sometimes it seemed more like a business partnership than a marriage. I shouldn't gossip.
That's unlike you.
Call it a little respect for the dead. I did respect him, after a fashion. Next round, then. Ha! There we go.
Ugh.
Now, what to ask, We'll start with an easy one, Are you seeing anyone?
Why? Are you interested?
Answering a question with a question is against the rules.
No, I'm not.
Well, no shame in that. You've got a whole afterlife to find a special someone. Or several, if you choose. And that's that.
Too scared for another round?
Hardly. I've got places to be.
More errands for the Countess?
You know it.
What is it exactly you do for her anyway?
Whatever she likes. That was the deal.
The deal? So you have a mark too?
Just like yours. His blood for my services to his family.
You can make a deal like that? Seems unfair.
It wasn't quite that bad. I negotiated pretty well for a dying guy, if I do say so myself. And here I am, the well-kept servant of a great vampire house. Who could ask for more? Don't answer that. Thanks for the company, Liza. Come join me up here again sometime, eh?
What a strange man. He's clearly unhappy, but even that feels like it's not quite the whole truth. Perhaps I'll ask him more about it next time.
Goodness!
Liza, good to speak with you. Have you been well?
I'm very well, thank you.
I'm so glad to hear it, my dear, especially after such a rough start. Would you like to share more over a drink? On the house, of course.
By drink, do you mean?
Up to you. I do pride myself on my Cabernet, but we have plenty of other options.
A Cabernet then, please.
Of course. One moment. Anything in particular you'd like to toast to?
To friendship.
Indeed. To friendship. Now then, have you been settling in well? Is the doctor treating you properly?
Indeed, he is.
Good, good. I'm glad to hear it. Siring comes with such responsibility. I worry sometimes people forget that. And with your entrance at the party. Still, if you ever need advice or a sympathetic ear, you can always come to me.
Thank you. I will.
Oh, another customer. Quite busy in the salon today. Not that I'm complaining. Apologies, Liza. Best for us to have a proper chat another night when it's a little quieter. Is that all right?
Of course, I understand. I'll see you around. Arbin's clearly a worldly woman. I wonder what brings her to this town. I'll have to ask her next time. Strange. Lovely van.